Hello everyone, more techno production. Of course, as always, I am bringing you a new video about making music. And once again, it's going to be mostly about the Moog Dfam, the little drummer from another mother that is such a favorite of mine. And today I am going to use it pretty much exclusively to build a track. So all the sounds are going to be from Dfam, but they will be running through the Analog 4. I have the Dfam plugged into the Analog 4 input for a very simple practical reason, which is that the little mixer here, don't know if that's actually on the screen, but that has stereo inputs, the Make a Hard Loop mixer. The Dfam is mono, and what happens is that the Dfam ends up going to the left channel of a stereo channel into my audio interface, and I can bypass that by only recording the left channel into Ableton Live. But another advantage of having it run through the Analog 4 is I need to have it on anyway for the clocking, for the syncing to Ableton Live, because I'm using the Analog 4 for that. And when the audio is running through it from the Dfam to the Analog 4, then I also get to use the effects on here. So let's set that up first. So I have a new kit, an empty kit on the Analog 4. I go to the effects track. Oscillator 1 button now doubles as external in. It's going to be the left channel, so I'm going to increase the volume on there and set the panning to center. Nice shortcut here is using the function button to jump between important values such as completely to the right, center, completely to the left, and that makes it easy to adjust. And you can already see here on the screen, even though it's small and I'm filming this from a little distance, that I can use the chorus delay and reverb on this external input. So that's great. The next thing I'll do, the CV track. Go to the CVA page. That does gate, as you can see. And then the second one says grounded. I read what that was, I forgot. The third one, pitch volt per octave. And the fourth one again grounded. So at least the first one I can use for the gate, and that will be the way I clock the Dfam, and also means I can sequence it if I use the trigger input. But for now I'm just going to use it to advance the clock. So basically every step on the Analog 4 will cause this to step to the next one. So I will be using the internal sequencer for pitch and velocity. I can, as you saw, use the Analog 4 to send it CV from the remaining three CV outputs. So there will be one for gate, and I could have three CV outputs go into there. But today it will only be the gate signal, just to keep it in sync with live and make recording a little bit easier. Anyway, now if I press play, nothing happens because you need to press run stop here. And this is actually the last sound I was working on yesterday. Little hi-hat pattern. But let's start from scratch with a kick bass combination of something like that. So turn down the noise. What do I have going on here? Let's go for oscillator 1. It's set to a triangle. Let's see. I'll start with the first and the fifth step at maximum velocity and the rest at 0. Just to have a kick drum. Of course it doesn't sound like one yet, but bear with me. I'll dial back the noise modulation here. the filter modulation by the noise. Don't need that. Let's open the filter, set it to low pass. Resonance at 0. And now this is all about pitch envelopes. I've set the sequencer pitch modulation to off, so pitch controls here aren't doing anything. This is the decay of the pitch envelope. This is the amount. This is where you dial in the flavor of your kick with the pitch. Or you could do an FM kick. Oscillator 2 being modulated. By 1 with a pitch envelope. Gives you different flavors. With or without hard sync. But let's go with oscillator 1. And maybe let's try giving it a bump in the low range by going to the high pass filter. Some resonance and then lowering it. Have the resonant peak somewhere in the sub range. No filter envelope. Set that to 0. This adds some noise. Filter mode. Not really feeling it. Let's just go with this. Okay, so this should be synced with live. Let's see. Interestingly, some hits are louder than others. That's weird. I have no idea what it means, but I'm just gonna record it. And what I'll do is, just for consistency, I'm just going to choose the best one. And yeah, just use one of these sounds. I'll just go with the first one. The other ones are a lot lower in volume for some reason. No idea why. Who cares? Just a quick edit here. One thing to always look out for with kick drums is this. That sneaky little envelope at the beginning, which takes away the click. If I put it back. In this case it's subtle, but sometimes if you get this effect, you definitely miss some of the attack, some of the beginning of the sound. Anyway, that's one track, one sound. Let's go for the next one. Let's arm record, and yeah. So now it actually sounds more consistent. That's really strange. If I press play on the Analog 4, it sounded like it did when I was making the sound on the Dfam. And when I press play on live, it's louder. Maybe it's something to do with the monitoring. Anyway, we'll see. We'll get to that later. So, a bass sound. We need a bass. So maybe dial back the FM amount. Let's put some more velocity. All the steps will be playing now. That's actually cool. It's missing one note. Which one is it? This one. Yeah. Also make this one louder, of course. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is a really cool thing about the Dfam. Basically the way it's designed with the sequencer, it forces you to have variations. Let's go for a slow attack and a shorter decay. This already sounds good, but maybe let's try some FM. Ooh. Maybe some low pass. That's the filter, resonating, self-resonating. See how that sounds together with the kick. I think it has the same problem again with this inconsistent volume. Well, that's not too bad. Okay. Now there is a little problem with having this range for recording, which is that there is some latency. By the way, I know of the existence of overbridge, and that should probably help, but for some reason I cannot get it to work on this 2018 MacBook Pro, which does connect to the Analog 4 and the Digitect and the Digitone over USB and is able to send sync signals. I can press play in Ableton Live and it will run, it will start a sequencer here. So that works, but overbridge, when I open it up, it just does not see this device or the other ones. So no audio streaming over overbridge, no automation, no patch storing, recording or editing on the MacBook Pro. If anyone has any idea why this doesn't work, maybe they have a MacBook Pro themselves, have the same issue, solved it. I don't know. I've been having some grief with a lot of USB devices that just don't seem to like connecting to the USB-C ports, sort of half working. I need to get a stationary computer, a desktop, so to speak. I'd like an iMac Pro or a fast iMac, but they are expensive. I'd be curious to see what the new ARM Apples are going to be like, the ones where they have their own processors inside them. I think the first ones will be coming at the end of the year. I'll wait for that to take a look, and if they suck, then I'll have to switch to Windows or something. We'll see. Anyway, enough talking. Let's record some bass. Need to press play to advance the sequencer to the last step, so it'll start at the first step. Anyway, here we go. So I had to leave a little bit of extra time here because it just starts late because of the latency. So you can see that's actually quite late. Now for this bass sound, this sub bass sound, it's not a problem to have a little fade in here, because actually we don't want it to be clicky. I say we, I mean I. Okay, so let's see what this sounds like together when looped quite loud. Okay. Another problem here, which you can see, is these mono signals which are being recorded stereo because they're going through the analog 4 into the Focusrite Scarlett, which does not have level controls that are in steps or anything, so it's very difficult to get the left and right channel the same. And once again, the left is louder than the right, so for the kick and the bass that's not such a big problem because they need to be mono anyway in this case, so I'll just mono them. But for the next channel, let's see if I can balance it out a little bit more. Adjusting the volume here, the level. It's actually really difficult to get them exactly at the same level. And also with the latency and everything, I think I'm going to have to get a new interface. I'm looking at the UAD, which is of course the nicest, also not the cheapest. Been hearing good things about their plugins, about their new Luna DAW. I wouldn't switch from Ableton Live to Luna for the creative part, but I've heard very good things about it for mixing with the built-in Neve console emulation and tape emulation, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, less rambling, more sound design, sequencing. Okay, so this was a bass. Let's go back to that idea of FM, a little bit higher pitch. Something like this, maybe pitched. If you want to make a melody, this is actually really hard on this device because the range of the pitch is so huge. If you want to make them all identical, the notes, it's easier just to go for this and use the pitch here. These are these typical fast FM sounds, whereas here you can actually hear the volume wiggling, and here it becomes just interesting harmonics. It's actually the velocity, I think, is also doing something to the pitch. Okay, let's do some patching here. Let's do velocity to FM amount. Okay, from the start would be start. I think there's something happening here with the syncing. Not completely sure. Something on when I press play, like the first step is hesitating or something. Yeah, that makes no sense. Working with analog gear. Okay, pitch. Pitch to VCO decay. I think we need some modulation then. Yeah, I don't want that. VCF decay? Nah. Physio 1 CV, Physio 2 CV. VCA CV. That's cool, so the pitch is now controlling the length. That's interesting. And a bit loud. Let's just record something here. And just see what that results in. Shouldn't have set it to loop, of course. So that just will overwrite whatever was there. Okay, so I'm working so slowly today. This is probably not going to be a full track, but who cares? Probably just a little idea. Okay, where to start this? Maybe like this. I'll just try some stuff. Well, that's at least in sync, sorta. I need to loop them. Okay, 16ths. Supposed to be moving this one, not the other one. Clumsy. Oh. That don't work. And the reason being that I need to... I thought I changed this. I guess I accidentally changed it back. This seemed to be in sync. Yeah. Let's just render this. And now I can step through the timing. Yeah. That's nice. You know what? I'll render it again. Just to keep it tidy. Okay, let's move on to the next. Let's make this a bit longer. Yeah, it's not going to be a full track, it's going to be a little idea here. Let's make it a 1.5 minute thing. 48 bars. Oh. I think it's time for some percussive stuff. Where's the sound gone? This is armed and ready. That's right, I turned down the volume. Okay. In high pass mode it doesn't go that high, but it's enough to get rid of some of the low rumbling things from the noise. Let's see, pitch won't do anything, well, unless we connect it to something interesting. Noise level, VCF decay. Nah. VCA decay is cool. Yeah, this is cool. It's nice in that other patch as well. Attack is really slow for a shaker. Good work. Let's just go for a little hi-hat sound here. Very much not in sync. Okay, let's see. Beforehand I created 8 audio tracks. Let's do 8 audio tracks and make a really small arrangement and then call it a day. Okay, so where do I want the accent to be on this? First let's just sync it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this stuff is so important, right? Having these louder notes. I think this sounds okay. Let's go with this. No, I didn't mean to press Siri. Okay. Loop. And while we're at it, maybe this one starts later. Okay, so let's just name these quickly. Sixteenth hi-hat has become H16. All in the name of saving time, I guess. Good. What else? Make sure there's a sound. That's what. Okay. Let's go with the noise a bit more. I'll have to move the mic in order to be audible. Maybe some filter stuff. Modulation. Maybe some oscillator. some FM. Okay. Let's play a little bit with the velocity, otherwise it will be the same rhythm all the time. Let's get the accent somewhere else. Jabba-da-bop. Okay. Let's just record it. The syncing is just awful, isn't it? Completely out of sync. Never mind. There are solutions to that problem. There are nice MIDI boxes that adjust for the timing. Ableton Live can adjust for some timing issues, but I've never gotten that to work. Anyway, for now, this is good enough. It's better than what I did previously with the Dfam, which was just recording something and then guessing the tempo. Okay, from the start. I need to do this again, where I render it first and then I can play with the timing. Command J, loop. That's very loud. Let's see. Seems to make some sense. So let's bounce it again. This one, percussion rhythm. Let's put an auto filter on that one. Slow moving auto filter, some resonance. Some LFO tooling. Some filter distortion. need some work too. Don't want to get all into editor mode, but just musically it needs some more accenting, some more like one note that jumps out or something. And let's try and accomplish that with some reverb here. Thinking about having some extra reverb to one note. So for instance this one, I don't know. There's a quick way of doing that. No. Of course, we can also go for an LFO tool, one for a pseudo sidechain, and let's do a second one, because what we can do is play with the volumes of the steps. So I have to set it to a half bar divided by 8, that would be 16 notes. Holding down shift in the LFO tool gives it these steps. This filter drive isn't doing it for me. This looks like a job for Decapitator. Of course, who else? In punish mode, of course. Sounding sort of gentle. Because of the low volume going in, probably, right? Something like that. Okay, let's do 3 more tracks here. And I've basically run out of ideas, so this is when the interesting stuff starts to happen. Or not. Let's see. So what else? Well, let's just turn some knobs and see what happens, right? some sort of noisy sequence. Let's record it. It's definitely a cadence going there. Again, I shouldn't have set it to loop. Who cares? I'll just Control Z, undo that last bit of recording. Okay. Move the mic again. Sync it up. Another perk rhythm 2. Probably lots of low end in there. Yeah. Let's do some basic arranging here. Just fade this one in. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a 1.5 minute clip with some stuff happening, sort of random. Some automation here and there just to make it a little bit interesting to listen back to. I used to only make loops and then would stretch them out for 15 or 30 seconds. Before that I made loops. I would render them out one time, so you get like a 1 second clip. Very difficult to listen back to and decide whether you like it or not if it's a 1 second clip. It's definitely something to be said for making longer bits, sort of start points of arrangements, just to have something to listen to and decide whether there's something there. Because the idea could be the sounds, the rhythm, but it could also be something happening in arrangement that is interesting, that could be worth developing further. Anyway, let's get back to 2 more sounds here. Maybe we could do something strange with, I don't know, the tempo or something. That don't work. Some old-fashioned zaps. Of course, we don't have to use all the steps. Just a little stab. Something like that. Yeah. Again, this weirdness where some of them are louder. Don't know what it means. Let's not use those then. Let's cut those out. First, let me sync it up. So where do I want this to happen? I think here. Maybe here. Okay. Not quite 8 beats. Oh, doesn't matter. Again, quite a bit of low end in here. Yeah. I guess this is a stab. Okay, one more sound then. Move the mic. Some sort of a drone. FM is a strange thing, isn't it? I'll record this and do a little bit of processing on it. I like the fact that it has a long decay, but there's still some sort of rhythmic thing happening. Okay. So let's fit this with the rest and then call it a day. Guess it starts here. The first bit was quieter. Slap on a ton of reverb, some high passing, some auto panning, maybe some auto filtering. Why not? Let's see. I guess this is now sort of a drone. Ooh, that was an unintended shortcut. Interesting. Going to change the timing a little bit here. It's a little bit more interesting. There you go. Well, if anything, that proves that the Dfam can be used for many different kinds of sounds. Even in my hands, some people are more imaginative than I am and know more about the Dfam and how to coax different sounds from it. So if I can do this, then someone else can do probably a lot more even, or future me will be able to do a lot more. The Dfam is really a deep instrument. It's not a regular synth. It cannot do a lot of basic things that your typical subtractive synth can do, but it can do some other really interesting things. So anyway, that's all for today. This is already taking a lot longer than I had planned. So if you've watched all of this, thank you very much for bearing with me. Check out my Too Many Dfam Kicks sample pack. Link in the description. You can get it for free. It will ask for your email. If you don't want to give your email, you can unsubscribe and just get the samples. No hard feelings. If you don't want to receive my emails, then please don't. be on my email list. There's no point, but I think you should still be able to have the samples. So if you want them and you don't want the emails, just unsubscribe. If you do want to hear more about what I'm up to, I will be sending emails. I did the first one last week, and actually it was about some cool news, which is that I am debuting on ALLEANZA Records, a very fine Maltese techno label with some great artists on there. And my EP called EXILE will be coming out on ALLEANZA 21st of August. That is next week, next Friday. 2 tracks of mine and a remix by Juan Trujillo, a very talented producer who has had a lot of great releases. I'm very happy with the fact that he did the remix. It sounds really cool. It's a really interesting version of my track, EXILE. I will link to that in the description as well. Check it out, and that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye bye.